This is about the former Dallas police officer that went into the man's house in Dallas, Texas. Her name is Amber Geiger, and she shot Bolton Jean in the head, in his chest, in his house. Says she went in the wrong apartment, and today she said she went in the wrong apartment, thought he was breaking in her house, so she gave him verbal commands, and he didn't respond, so she shot him. And today yesterday they went to a grand jury, took it to the grand jury. The United States Marshal said that it was manslaughter, but the grand jury called it murder. So we know how this go. Because when it's time for them to go to court, it always switch. But y'all check this out. Tell me what you think about it.
Dallas police officer Amber Geiger was booked and released for a murder charge hours after a grand jury indictment. We have her mugshot. It's from the Mesquite Police Department. That's where she turned herself in this afternoon. Her bond was set at $200,000. Now, typically, a defendant would post 10%. In this case, $20,000 to be released. The grand jury indictment for Bolton Jean's shooting death followed 3 days of deliberations. Fox 4's Alex Boyer begins our coverage tonight. And Alex, I know you have reaction from his family and also from the district attorney. What can you tell us?
That's right, Heather. And 9 out of 12 members of the grand jury had to come to this decision to indict Amber Geiger on murder. Speaking with District Attorney Faith Johnson after this decision was handed down, Johnson says she believed from the onset of this case that this was a murder case. Dallas County District Attorney Faith Johnson speaking to the media after a grand jury indicted former Dallas police officer Amber Geiger with the murder of 26-year-old Bolton Jean.
I want to thank the grand jury for the diligence that they have given to this case, the concentration, the work.
The decision of victory for the prosecution after the Texas Rangers, who were the lead on this investigation, initially charged Geiger with manslaughter for killing Jean inside his own apartment. Geiger told investigators she thought she was entering her own unit when she encountered Jean and thought he was an intruder. D.A. Johnson said she could not give details of the closed-door proceedings, but said witness testimony and physical evidence convinced the grand jury this was a murder case.
Our unit did a tremendous job of investigating the case, talking to over 300 witnesses, conducting different lab testing.
Jean's parents are pleased with the grand jury's decision, but say they know they face a long road ahead.
It is such a hard thing to go through. We miss our boy dearly. He didn't deserve that.
I look forward to the next step, which is a conviction of murder of Amber Geiger, and more so of a penalty, the proper penalty that will cause her to reflect on what she has done and the pain that she has caused.
And D.A. Johnson believes it will be at least a year before this murder case is ready to go to trial. Judge Tammy Kemp is scheduled to preside over this case. That is, of course, unless a motion is made to move this case to another venue. At this time, we have yet to hear from Amber Geiger's attorney. Back to you.
All right, Alex Boyer live. Thank you. Now, we can tell you that Geiger's attorney believes she should not be charged. He says he believes the grand jury was swayed by more than facts and thinks political pressure played a role in this murder indictment.
I'm not surprised that a grand jury came out with an indictment. There's an outpouring of vindictive emotion that's been building up. There was a lot of political pressure that seemed to play a role in how the DA handled this, and there was what I believe, I don't know what happened in the grand jury, but I believe emotion was injected into it that might have led the grand jury astray from just focusing on the law and the evidence. And so it's an indictment. It doesn't mean anything. This hasn't been tried in a fair forum yet. And so when we get to in a fair forum in front of 12 dispassionate citizens, then I believe the law and the evidence will show that Amber Geiger is innocent.
Now, we asked how Geiger took the news of the indictment. Attorney Robert Rogers would not comment on that. We can tell you Dallas Police Chief Renee Hall says her department feels the, quote, anguish about this difficult and tragic event. The chief outlined some of her policy changes. She supports restructuring the Citizen Review Board, expanding bias training for officers, and taking input from employees and the community. Chief Hall was previously criticized for waiting more than 2 weeks to fire Amber Geiger.
Now y'all hear that? The black police chief, it took 2 weeks for that. But if they were trying to charge one of us for murder, shit, we'd have been charged the same day. So we know how everything else gonna end. I bet you she walk off like with a pat on the hand and broke in this man's house. Leave a comment, tell me what you think.